First of all, would like to welcome you all to the platform of Defence Pariksha App. Now, let me be very clear, this session actually is going to be very enriching session. I know the interface seems a bit different, but that was a bit of a technical glitch. That's the reason, it's looking like that. But anyways, what's going to matter is that you are going to have a great experience in overall revision aspect. So this is basically the part 2 of geography revision, let me tell you. So यहाँ पे we are going to be doing the part 2 of geography revision, and you all know that we are doing this complete revision for UPSC CDS examination, and for that reason only we are having these sessions on regular basis. Is that clear? So I'm sure that you're going to have a great experience. Please do let me know in the comment section if I'm clearly audible and visible to you guys. मेरी आवाज आ रही है? I hope my voice is completely audible to you. If yes, please do let me know in the comment section. Perfect. So I am hopeful that I am clearly audible and visible to you guys. Hello Nimrat. Thank you so much Manav. Thank you so much Rishabh. Thank you Ankur. Means a lot. Thank you. So ultimately, what matters is that we have to have a great revision here, and that is what it's going to matter. So the interface is like that, but the session's quality, of course, is going to be top notch. Thank you Anmol. Thank you SK Rana. Thank you everyone. For all the warm wishes. Thank you Anu, everyone. So thank you so much. Thank you so very much. And after 2 days gap, we are having this very session because there were some technical glitches. Because of that, we were not able to hold this particular session. But anyways, it's all good now, and I can assure you that you're going to have a great revision in this class for everyone out there, not only the serious aspirants. In fact, every other aspirant is going to have a great revision in this very class like always. So that's the main idea. So Anukriti, thank you, Rajiv, Mandeep, everyone. So thank you so very much, first of all, for all the lovely wishes. And now we are going to be, heading towards the revision part. So I'll be having, more questions basically on oceanography and climatology part today. Some questions from geomorphology will also be there, but mainly the questions are going to be following the trajectory of oceanography and climatology, because in last class we have already done a lot of this particular thing. Geomorphology we have done a lot in the previous class as well. So do share it with your friends so that they should also be in a position to take advantage of this very session. All set? Beta, please do let me know in the comment section. Is my voice fine? Is my voice and audio absolutely okay? Please just let me know. Thank you SK Rana. Thank you so much. Okay, so I hope the interface is absolutely all right. Okay, and I know it's a bit different than the regular YouTube sessions which you are used to seeing on this platform, but today we are going to have a class like this. Okay, so I think we are now very much good to go, and let's start today's session. So I start with the question number 1 now. Okay, so question number 1 goes on your screens as follow. Now first question is very much easy, of course. It says the theory of the plate tectonic proposes that Earth's lithosphere is divided into dash major plates. How many major plates are we having? Please answer this question, everyone. How many major tectonic plates are we having on this planet Earth? That is my first question for all of you. So let's see how many of you can answer that. Very good. So this is actually a very basic question on which we are basically starting this session. Good job. So see, minor tectonic plates we have a lot, but major tectonic plates we don't have many. We just have 7 tectonic plates which are falling in this category of major tectonic plates. Always remember this. So how many tectonic plates we are having? We just have 7 major tectonic plates. So I'll also show you the map, but anyways, so we have D as the right answer. 7 tectonic plates we have in total. So let us see on the map as well that which tectonic plates are we basically talking about. All right. So if we look at this map, so have a look at this. Yeah. So which tectonic plates are the major tectonic plates? We have got like North American tectonic plate is a major, South American tectonic plate is a major tectonic plate, and on top of that, of course, Eurasian tectonic plate, African tectonic plate, this Indo-Australian tectonic plate, Pacific tectonic plate, and Antarctic tectonic plate. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are, precisely speaking, the 7 major tectonic plates which we are having. These are the 7 major tectonic plates which we are having on this planet Earth. Lithospheric plates, basically tectonic plates as we call them, these are the most important ones. 7 tectonic plates we are having. All right. So this was basically a simple and straightforward question which we have got as the first question today. Next question is also very much basic concept which everyone is expected to know. So let me present that in front of you. And here you go with it. So starting questions are quite easy, then we'll be increasing the level of the questions. Okay. The next question, let me just load that. Next question says, the torrid zone lies between which latitudes? The torrid zone, as we talk about, it is lying between which latitude? That is what you're supposed to answer. So please try to answer this one. Good job. So torrid zone. So it is Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, Antarctic Circle, South Pole, or Equator, Tropic of Cancer. So remember this thing, it's a very basic concept. When we talk about this is Earth, this is equator. And here 23.5 we have Tropic of Cancer, and south 23.5 we have Tropic of Capricorn. So between this is basically the torrid zone. So remember, B is going to be the right answer to this question. Very basic question this is. So you got to understand this point, that this precisely between Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. So basically tropics are the torrid zone, and north temperate zone is till Arctic Circle, and then frigid zone. Similarly, in southern hemisphere, below Tropic of Capricorn to Antarctic Circle, we have south temperate zone, and then we have the frigid zone. So please remember these zones: torrid zone, temperate zone, and frigid zone, as we are having on this planet Earth. So these are very important zones which you are expected to know in your examination. Very simple point. Okay. Now moving ahead, let's see how many of you can answer this very question. The next one. Ready? Okay. So the next question is related to tectonic plates, of course. The tectonic plates dash is located between Philippines and Indian plate. Tell me what is the right answer. Good job. So this is a very basic question, I would say. Is it Fiji? Is it Nazca? Is it Caroline? Or is it Cocos? Between Philippines and Indian plate, I'm asking. Philippines and Indian plate, that's what I'm asking. Tell me. So this is a very basic one. I hope you're able to answer this one. Okay. So if you look at, various tectonic plates per day, you will be getting the answer very much clearly. You are bound to get the answer. So Philippines and Indian plate, that's a question. And you are going to be getting Caroline plate as the right answer. C, Caroline plate. This is certainly the right answer to this question. Are you getting this point? Very basic question this is. So we are expected to, answer these kind of questions because these are very to the point kind of the questions. We are expected to know them very much precisely. Let me show you on the map as well. Anyways, now have a look at this. We have got here Philippines plate, and here we have Indian plate. Here we have the Caroline plate, as you can see. And this is the Arabian plate. This is Nazca plate between South American plate and Pacific plate. And here we have Cocos plate, between North America, South America. So have a bare minimum idea about this thing. This is a very important point we need to be understanding about the tectonic plates. So a lot of students, do ask me that where exactly we have the Fiji plate. So let me show you, here basically we have the Fiji plate, like near the Tonga Trench. Basically, I can say northeast of Australia. If you go northeast of Australia, you're going to find the Fiji plate, northeast of Australia. I hope it's clear. So where we have the Fiji plate, here we have the Fiji plate. Easy. Okay. So now moving ahead, let me see how many of you can answer the next question. So the next question goes on your screens as follows. Millions of years ago, Indian subcontinent was separated from the mainland by a large sea known as which sea? Which sea was there? Very good. So I hope you are able to answer this very question. So that's a very basic question, as you can see. What exactly is the right answer? Again, now this is a very basic question, and we just have to understand that it is Tethys Sea. Tethys Sea is, वैसे all the other options sound very much senseless. So only A option makes sense. So that's why A is going to be the right answer to this question. Tethys Sea is the right answer. So remember this thing, like when we talk about your Laurasia, so here we have the Tethys Sea, you got to be understanding this. Got it? So how we have seen the continental drift also, we had Pangaea, it got divided into Laurasia and Gondwana land. Then of course further continents we saw were being created because of movement of the plates. So because the plates are moving on the regular basis, that is the reason why we are seeing the formation of continents as well. This is the point we need to be understanding. All right. So I think this is a very, very basic point we are supposed to be understanding. All right. Okay. Perfect. So I hope, the voice is fine. That is the most important thing. Screen, I know it's very much clearly visible, but voice should be absolutely okay. Okay. Let's move to the next question now. The next question is going to be, of course, very much important. So two cities, N and M, are located at 15 degree east and 15 degree west of Greenwich. So longitude we have, this is Greenwich, okay, GMT, and one is 15 degree west, one is 15 degree east. Are you getting it? So what will be the time difference between two cities? That's the question. So now this is a very interesting one. GMT, 15 degree here, 15 degree here. So total how much degree? It is 30 degree. This is the most important thing. And always remember one thing, that whenever we calculate this thing, it is 4 minutes per degree. So 1 degree represent 4 minutes. It's very important. So if 1 degree is 4 minutes, 30 degrees how much minute? 30 degrees 4 into 30, that is 120. So 120 minutes is equal to 2 hours. So that's why D has to be the right answer. It's as simple as that. So these kind of the questions you get in the exam at times. These are the kind of the questions you are going to get in your exam. So please be very much clear that how do you answer these questions is going to be very much crucial in the examination hall. All right. So please be very much clear in this regard, so that, if you do the total calculation, always remember that it is 4 minutes per degree. As simple as that. 4 minutes per degree, and I think that would give you proper answer. Is that clear? Okay. So now let's move to the next question. Now the next question is even interesting. Let's do that. Next question says, the standard meridian of India passes through which of the following states of India? Is it MP? Is it Chhattisgarh? Is it Odisha? Is it Andhra Pradesh? So think about this. That's a very basic question. So always remember, it misses Bihar and Jharkhand. So Bihar and Jharkhand are not there. It passed through UP. Then we have MP. Then we have Chhattisgarh. Then we have Odisha. Then we have Andhra Pradesh. So basically, it is passing through all those states. Okay, including these, UP is also there. So UP, MP, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh. So I would say that your answer has to be all of them are true. So D has to be the correct answer. The correct answer here is going to be D. So please be very much clear about this aspect. What is the correct answer? D is the correct answer to this question. Very basic question this is. Are you getting this point? So D is the right answer. So you can have a look at this map as well. UP, MP, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh. So this is the meridian which we are following. So this is quite an important one. Is this point clear? Now, let's move to the next question. Now, next question is a bit factual, but again, such questions we have seen in the previous years as well. So we have to be focusing on this question as well. So let me present that to you, that what exactly is the answer to this question. Next question says that who is considered as a father of plate tectonics? Tell me. Amongst these, who is also called the father of plate tectonics? A German meteorologist. So tell me, what is the right answer? Good job. So it's a very basic question. A for Alfred Wegener is going to be the right answer. A is the right answer. Absolutely basic. So around 1912, he came up with this theory, and though he was not able to give the explanation part, but he has proposed that, so that's why it is very much important. So I hope you know now that A is certainly going to be the right answer. Clear? So any doubts in case you guys are having, you surely can let me know. Very basic. So if somebody asks you about the sea floor spreading, it is Harry Hess. Got it? And so that is the main reason, why we have to have a bare minimum idea about that plate tectonics is by Alfred Wegener, and Arthur Holmes also added something to it. And finally, Harry Hess gave the sea floor spreading theory. So we have different people contributing to that. So I hope it's clear that Alfred Wegener is proposing the theory of continental drift. So now what exactly is it all about? That, our Earth was having a single supercontinent, and basically we had Pangaea and mega ocean, that is Panthalassa. And then Pangaea got broken up. So Pangaea got broken up, how? Laurasia and Gondwana. So how it is being done, you have to understand this. Very important this is. And certainly, then again it got broken up further and further and further, and it took the shape which we have today. So this is what the continental drift is all about. So this was Pangaea, this was Panthalassa, and this is how we look at it. Got the point? Very basic this is. So please be, very much aware of these kind of questions. Anyways, now let me move to the next question. Now this question is even more interesting. So I'm just hopeful of one thing, that, you are going to have a decent level of understanding on all those points. So let me just load the next one. Consider the following statement about the auroras. All right. About the auroras, these are the statements as you can see on the screens, everyone. Aurora borealis, aurora australis. So tell me which of the following is correct. Question is about the auroras. Good job. Now this is a very basic question. Let me tell you. When the solar flares are going to interact with the Earth's magnetic field, the auroras are going to be produced, beautiful green lights as we call them. So in the northern hemisphere, they are known as aurora borealis. In the southern hemisphere, they are known as aurora australis. So from Australia, you can recall that. So of course, both the statements are absolutely correct. Both the statements are certainly going to be 100% correct. This is the point we have to understand. Is that clear? So I am hopeful that, you are able to make some sense out of it. Very basic questions these are, which we have to understand. Got it? Okay. The next one is going to be super important. Let's see, how many of you are able to answer this one. Next question says, the earthquake early warning system in India is based on which of the following waves? Now, this is a very conceptual question. Let me tell you this thing. This conceptual is actually, this question is actually very much conceptual in nature. So let me see how many of you can answer this. Okay. So what exactly is going to be the correct answer to this question? Tell me. Very good. Now, when we talk about the early warning system, Anji Sakshan Jayanji, welcome. It has to track the fastest. So which wave is the fastest? Which wave is the first to be observed? That is the P wave. Always remember this thing. P wave will be the first to be observed. So that's why it has to be there in the early warning system, as simple as that. Firstly, we will see P wave and S wave, then we'll see love wave, rally wave. So always remember this thing, that P wave and S wave, if we talk about P wave and S waves, these are what? These are the body waves. So body waves are first to arrive. Then when they interact with the surface, they produce the surface waves. And surface waves are very much deadly, like love wave, rally wave are very much deadly. P waves and S waves, that is body waves, are not that deadly. So remember this thing, and the first wave which we observe is P wave. I hope this idea is absolutely clear. Very basic point this is, but we have to understand this point very much precisely. So P wave will move like this. S wave is going to move like this, sine wave, like this. So these sessions are going to, give you all these kind of clarities, which are very much important from the examination perspective. Okay. Let's now move to the next one. So I'm hopeful that, you are now able to revise all these points very much precisely. So let me give you the next question. So next question is actually a very interesting one. Let me just present that in front of you guys. Okay, this is the one. So here you have statement number 1, statement number 2, and statement number 3. Can you see that? Okay. So which of the following statement is given correct? It says shield volcanoes are formed from highly viscous basaltic lava. Composite volcanoes are layers of andesitic lava. Caldera lakes form when volcanic cone collapses into an emptied magma chamber. So that is what the question says. So let me see how many of you can get the right answer. Very important this is, type of the lava we are going to be studying in this very question. So tell me about this very question. What do you think? So what is a shield volcano, by the way? If I say, if we certainly talk about the shield volcanoes are like very much big volcanoes, but they're not steep. Height is very much less. They're very much wide. They're like dome shaped. Hai? Shield volcanoes are very much dome shaped. So their lava is basically, I would say, very much fluidic in nature. It is very much low viscous. It's basaltic lava, basically, I would say. So you have to understand this thing, that when we talk about this aspect, they are not going to have very highly, low viscosity is going to be there, and it will be highly fluid. It will be highly fluid in nature. Remember this thing. And when we talk about the composite volcanoes, basically composite volcanoes certainly will have, high viscosity lava, thick lava, which will be very much less, fluid, and it will be very much acidic or andesitic, I would say. So yes, certainly, andesitic lava is going to be there. So second is absolutely correct. And when the volcanic cone collapses, this also is formed. So I hope you know that first statement is going to be incorrect. First statement is going to be totally incorrect. And that is why I can easily eliminate and I can get B as the right answer. Trust me, this question is actually a very, very important question. From exam point of view, if you ask me, I would say that this is a very, very interesting question and important question, which we need to understand. I hope this point is absolutely understandable to you guys. But you got the point? So type of lava is going to decide the shape of that particular volcano. Be very much clear. If the lava is very much fluid, it's going to flow to greater lengths and the dome shaped volcano is formed. If it is not so fluid, it is going to form a very long, steep volcano like composite volcanoes are. So this is precisely the point we have to be understanding. But I got the point? Okay, perfect. So I'm glad that, you are all in a position to have a great deal of understanding on these particular points, because ultimately, these are the aspects which are very much important. Just remember. Okay. So thank you. So So they are having very gentle slope. They're having very gentle slope like a dome. That is what we need to understand. So I hope now you can have a decent comparison of both. Perfect. Let's move to the next one. Now the next question is also, based on this, questions explanation only. I hope you're able to answer this one as well. So let me present that. So have a look at this question. Okay. Which of the following statement is not correct about the andesitic or acidic lava? Just the explanation I gave, you have to apply that. Got it? A. These lavas are highly viscous and high melting point. B. They are dark colored basalt rich in iron. C. They flow slowly and seldom travel far. D. Andesitic lava flow mostly destructive boundaries. So these are the four aspects you got to be telling me. Which of the following is not correct? That's the question. So let's see how many of you can answer that. Good job. Now this is a very easy question. Now let me tell you one thing. If it is acidic lava, andesitic lava, so you can't say that they will be having basalt because they're acidic, they are not basaltic. So this is incorrect. If this is incorrect, this has to be the right answer. They're highly viscous, yes they are. They flow very slowly, yes they flow very slowly, they're very less fluidic, and they are on the convergent boundary. This is also true. Usually on the divergent boundary you will see basaltic lava more. So remember, here B is the right answer, very much precisely. B is going to be the right answer to this question. So I hope now you know that, how do you differentiate between both? This is actually a very much important point we have to look into, all of you. Anu, where you have doubt, bete, please tell me. Anji, thank you, Rajiv. Where exactly are you facing the doubt? Can you tell me? Okay, let me just tell you one thing. If we have to basically, differentiate between both, how do we do that? Let me just show you a snippet which I have here. Acidic lava, basically, or andesitic lava, if you talk about, it is very much, high in silica. And basaltic lava, basically, they are very much low or poor in silica. All right. So usually basic lava is dark colored basaltic lava, and it is not so dark colored. It is very much light colored and low dense. Okay. Having said that, basic lava is very much highly fluid and it is very much less fluid. So here in acidic lava, the cones are formed like this, volcano is formed like this. And in the basic lava, the volcano will be formed like this, it will be very much dome shaped, or I would say shield volcano will be formed, which I just explained to you as well. So have a look at this. I'm just going off the screen. Have a look at this. Is this visible, bete? I hope this idea is absolutely clear. So this is what is formed in the case of basic lava. That is shield volcano. And here you can see very long, steep volcanoes are formed. Anu, is that clear, bete? I hope this idea is absolutely clear now. All right. Shall we move ahead then? Moving to the next question. Now this question is again a very interesting one. Let's talk about it. So when we talk about this very question, the next one, the question says, which of the following ocean current is associated with the Indian Ocean? Got it? Is it Florida? Is it Canary? Is it Aguala? Is it Kuril current? Tell me. Which current are we talking about? Now that's a very basic question. Should be in a position to answer that. Okay, so if I talk about the Florida, it has to be near USA. This thing, you know, Canary is near Africa. In fact, Sahara Desert, it's basically forming. Kuril is very much near to Japan. Please remember these important currents. So that's why Agualas near Madagascar, this has to be the right answer. Agualas is going to be the right answer to our question. If you look at this map, you can simply see this is what Agualas look like. on the eastern coast of Africa, it's flowing. If you talk about Yasho, basically here we see Kuril current, this is here. And I'm sure you can see, Florida current, basically you'll see somewhere here. Got it? It's not a very important one. But anyways, Canary current is very much important because it has a desiccating effect on Sahara Desert. Desiccating effect means some cold currents are not going to let it rain. And when the rain is not happening, you will see formation of deserts. This is what we need to understand very much precisely. Very basic point this is. Got it? So like California current is forming Mojave Desert. Here we are having Atacama Desert. Here we are having Namib Desert because Benguela. Here also we have deserts. So cold current usually give you deserts or desiccating effect. This is a point we have to understand precisely. Got the point? So moving ahead of this question. Now the next question is quite interesting. Let me see how many of you can get it right. Okay. So halocline refers to significant change in dash. So when you're going down the sea water column, you get this halocline. So what is halocline? Change in density, change in salinity, change in temperature, or change in turbidity. What exactly is halocline referring to? That is what my question is. Tell me. Halocline is referring to dash. Good job. So this actually is a very basic question. Should be able to answer this precisely. Okay. Now this is very simple one. When we talk about like density, it has to be pycnocline. Temperature mein it has to be thermocline. So we are just left with halocline. Basically, it has to do with salinity. So of course B is the right answer. So these terms are very much important. Pycnocline, thermocline, and halocline we have to look into. They are certainly going to be of immense importance. So please be very much precise in these questions. Got the point? So I'm hopeful that now at least you are in a position to understand these points precisely. Okay, let's now move to the next question. Now next question is actually a very conceptual question, I would say. I hope you are in a position to answer that. Got it? So here you go with the next question. You can see in the diagram also increasing, here temperature is increasing. But when you go inside the ocean or sea, the temperature decreases rapidly. That is thermocline. Density is increasing. That is pycnocline. Density is, salinity is falling. That is halocline. So that's how we look at it. You have two statements, statement number 1 and statement number 2. So the wind which blow between 30° north and 30° south latitude is known as westerly. The moist air that cause winter rains in the northwestern region are a part of westerlies. So tell me, what is the right answer? What precisely is the right answer to this question? Now this is a very basic question. Good job. Now, let me tell you one thing, what is the catch here? If you look at this is Earth, all right, this is equator, this is low pressure zone basically. And here we have subtropical high pressure zone. So from subtropical high pressure zone, winds are going to flow like this, all right? Or here if we have subtropical high pressure zone, winds are going to flow like basically this. Now, having said that, what precisely are we supposed to understand? Very basic. That 30° north to 60° north they will be flowing. Similarly, 30° south to 60° south they will be flowing. You can't say they'll go all the way from here to here. This is not possible. So that's why first statement is null and void. Second statement is correct because moist air which we see there part of the westerlies. When we talk about the winter rain which is being caused. So that's why B is going to be the right answer. B certainly is going to be the right answer to this question. So this is a very basic question which we are supposed to answer whenever we are given such questions. So it's a very simple one. So always read the question very much carefully and you can have a catch here This is quite important one. Okay. So moving to the next one now. Let's see how many of you can get it right. So this actually is a very important question. Moving ahead. So these are Western disturbances basically. It says, consider the following statement with reference to the Earth's atmosphere. The amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere generally decreases with the increase in altitude. A decrease in the amount of water vapor in the air from the equator towards the pole is general trend. It acts like a blanket for the Earth, thus preventing it from becoming too hot or too cold. So, tell me, what exactly is the right answer to this question? Very precise question this is. So, I hope you're able to answer this one as well. Very basic question. Okay. So let me tell you, of course, first two statements are very clearly correct. And if I talk about, water vapor acting as a blanket, preventing it from becoming too hot or too cold, this is also very much correct. I'll, explain how exactly, do we look at this particular statement. Always remember this thing. So all the statements are correct because it will act like a blanket and it will absorb the part of the insolation from the sun. And at the same time, it will also preserve the radiated heat of the earth because earth is also radiating some heat back. So it will also absorb that. So that's why it is going to maintain that equilibrium, and that's why D is going to be the right answer. D certainly is going to be the right answer to this question. Very basic question this is, but we are supposed to have a proper idea in this regards. Very simple point this is. You got the point? So I hope this idea is absolutely clear. So remember this thing, that when we talk about the water vapors, they are acting as a blanket. Very important. Next question says, the atmosphere is heated by what? Shortwave solar radiations, long wave terrestrial radiations, reflected solar radiations, scattered solar radiations. Tell me, how do we see, atmosphere is being heated? That's a very basic question. So when you read about heat budget, you have to read about these points. Now that's a very basic question. See, shortwave solar radiation is what, we get from sun to earth. But when the earth, for example, these radiation which we get from the sun, they are shortwave. But when the earth is radiating them back as a terrestrial radiation, these are the long wave. So always remember that these are the long wave radiation which are going to be heating the atmosphere. And that's why B is going to be the right answer to this question. Absolutely, B is the right answer of this particular question. Very basic question this is, but we have to have a decent level of understanding. All right. Okay. So moving ahead, let's now move to the next question. Very basic question this is. So you can just simply understand that earth is being heated, and ultimately when we see, long form radiations basically from the earth to the atmosphere, this is very much important because insolation from the sun is in the form of short wave. So this is very much important. What's on world geography? Yeah, I'll try to bring that as well. Don't worry, Tushar. Got it. So I'll have some questions based on the maps as well. So don't worry about that. Okay, moving ahead. Let's move to the next question. Very important question. Now we have the next one. Actually, this basically marathon is for the serious aspirants because they have their exam 9 days down down the line, and this is basically for their level only. So when we talk about the carbon dioxide, so you have to tell me about these two states. It's very important these are. So let's see how many of you can answer that. It is found in all layers of the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide remains in the atmosphere for hundreds of years. So tell me, what precisely is the right answer? Two statements we have got about the carbon dioxide. Very good. Now, this is a very basic question which I expect you guys to be answering. Now, we can't say that, in all the layers of atmosphere you find the, CO2, because beyond certain height of the atmosphere, you can't find the CO2. It's as simple as that. So you can, up to 90 kilometer, it is fine, but beyond 90 kilometer, it's very difficult to find the CO2. That's one thing. And no doubt that, it remains in the atmosphere for a very long period of time. So this actually is very much true. So I would say that B has to be the right answer. So it is B, which is absolutely correct in this regards. So B is the right answer. Please be, very much clear in this regards. Very basic this is. Okay. Now, the next question, as we talk about, let's see how many of you are able to answer that. So that is related to certain, climate zones basically. So we are going to be having a question on the climate zones. Let's try to answer that. So I'm going to give you a description and then you have to answer accordingly. So read this description and then give the right answer. Savanna, equatorial, monsoon, Mediterranean. So which of the following region has been described in the above passage? Very good. Good job. So now read this question very much precisely. It says that each day is more or less the same. The morning is clear and the bright, with a sea breeze, and then we have sun climbing high in the sky. At the same time, you're having the rain as well, but the rain is soon over. So if we talk about this rain, if we talk about each day is more or less the same. Now this is a very big hint. So we have to pick the equatorial climate which is being told to us in this very paragraph. So it is basically about the equatorial climate we have to understand. Got the point? So I'm hopeful that now at least you have this idea that, this is the character of equatorial climate. So you can also have such questions. So please be very much precise that how do you answer these questions. Okay. So now let's move to the next question. Next question is very much interesting. It says, with reference to thermosphere, consider the following statements. Statement 1 and statement 2. Tell me which of the following is correct. Thermosphere. So this is a very basic question. So it's actually a very basic question. I hope you're able to answer that. Okay. So I can see, so many students are already answering this very question. Now, the most important thing is you got to understand that aurora borealis you can find in thermosphere, no doubt, because of the ions. But meteors, they are going to be vaporizing in the mesosphere. Mesosphere, it is going to be there. So it has to be A, which is the correct answer. Aurora borealis are observed in the layer, but meteors are going to vaporize in the mesosphere. So A is going to be the right answer. All right. So I'm hopeful that this point is absolutely clear to you guys. Okay. Anyway, so moving to the next question. Very important this is. Moving ahead. So this is quite an important one. Very important concept, I would call it. Important concept of geography. The height of troposphere is higher at the equator than the poles. The highest amount of dust and water vapors is found in the troposphere. So which statement given is or are correct? Now that is the question you have to answer. Tell me. How do you answer this question? Good job. It is actually a very basic question. You should be able to answer that. Now, no doubt that you have a lot of dust and the water vapors in the troposphere, which is absolutely correct because it's the lowermost layer of the atmosphere. The height of the troposphere is higher at the equator and lower at the poles. Yes, because the air is lighter. So since the air is lighter because of heat, it is going to go to higher zones, and moreover it's a low pressure condition. So you will see the currents are going to help it. At the poles we have high pressure zone, so that's why the air is not able to move ahead. So that's why the answer absolutely going to be both are absolutely correct. So height of troposphere is definitely higher at the equator as compared to the poles. This is what we need to be understanding. So I hope this idea is absolutely clear to you guys. So whenever we talk about this troposphere or the tropopause, you will also see that tropical tropopause is higher. Have a look at this. This is higher than this. So at the poles, it is not going to be very much higher. It can be around 8 kilometers. At the equator, it can be around even 18 kilometers. So you can see the difference. So that is why, this area is quite cooler as compared to this area. So always remember, the air above the tropopause, at the equator is going to be slightly cooler as compared to the air which is going to be there in the tropopause at the polar zone, because its height is less than this height. Very much important point. Point clear, everyone? So I hope you are able to understand this point very much precisely. Okay, so moving ahead, and moreover, one more detail I would like to share, that when we talk about this context, you got to understand that in the winter, tropopause is not that high as compared to summer tropopause. So because in summer, of course, the air is going to be lighter. So the cooler the air is going to get more and more high in weight. And the lighter the air, basically the hotter the air, it is going to get more and more light. Always remember this thing very much precisely. So hot air is going to be very much light in weight. Got it? Okay, moving ahead to the next question. Very basic question is going to be the next one. So I'll be giving you 3 statements which you have to be answered. Okay. So we have statement number 1, statement number 2, statement number 3. So tell me which statement is correct. Which statement is absolutely correct according to you? Commercial jet avoid flying in this region of troposphere because of turbulence. Yes. Most of the mass of the atmosphere. Yes. 80 to 90% mass is present in troposphere. Yes, this is true. It is the wettest layer because a lot of moisture is there. So I would say D has to be the right answer. All the statements are true about the troposphere. So remember this thing, that troposphere itself is carrying around 80 to 80% mass. 80 to 80% mass of the entire atmosphere is going to be carried alone by this troposphere. So this is actually a very important one. 80 to 85% is being carried by this. Yes, Nitin, absolutely. So I'm hopeful that, now at least you will not be fumbling when a question like this comes. You know this very much precisely. Got it? Okay. Now the next question. Let's now, focus on this very question and see how many of you can answer that. So next question goes on your screens. It's about the stratosphere. The temperature in this layer decreases at the rate of 1 degree for every 165 centimeter of height. It contains ozone layer. The less turbulence make it ideal for the flying of aircraft as well. So 3 only, 1 and 2 only, 1 and 3 only, or 2 and 3 only. Tell me which of the following is correct about the stratosphere. So this is a very interesting question. Let's see how many of you can get it right. Very, very basic question. Okay. So now this question indirectly is about the temperature inversion concept, which we see in the stratosphere. That is, with height increase, what's going to happen? We are going to be seeing the increase in the temperature. So this is a very important point we need to be understand. So the temperature is not going to decrease. In fact, it is going to be increasing. This is the biggest, thing which we have to be understand. So I hope this idea is absolutely clear. Got the point, bete? So I hope this idea is absolutely clear to you guys. Very basic this is. So the first statement is not at all correct. But yeah, it contains ozone layer. It's ideal for the flying of the aircraft. So that's why D is going to be the right answer. D is the most appropriate answer which we have. Easy. Okay. Next one. It says consider the following statement with reference to the terrestrial radiations. Terrestrial radiation as we are talking about. Let's do it. So which of the following is incorrect? You have to tell me. Earth's surface is heated by the long form wave solar radiation. The reflective amount is known as albedo of the earth. Greenhouse gas absorb the long wave. Now always remember this thing. This is short wave. The reflected one is long wave. So yes, when we talk about Earth's surface, it is heated by the short wave, not by the long wave. So this is incorrect. The greenhouse gases absorb the long wave. Yeah, this is correct. Reflected is known as albedo. This is correct. So I would say that first statement is incorrect. So if it is asking incorrect, I will pick B as the right answer. Why? Because this question is asking about the incorrect. So which one is incorrect? Here, B is the incorrect statement as we talk about. B is the incorrect statement we have to understand. Are you getting this point, everyone? So I hope you are able to understand this point very much precisely. Any doubts you have? Okay. Okay, let's move to the next one. So I hope now at least you know how we are going to be understanding these kind of questions. Very basic questions these are, but we have to have a bare minimum idea about them. Okay. So the next question, let's move ahead. So next question is a bit unconventional, but let's solve that. Now you know that insolation received by the earth is in the form of short wave, and then it will be reflected and we will have the long wave radiation. So this point is actually a very important one we have to be understanding. Okay, now moving ahead, the next question is a very interesting one. You have to arrange all of them in the increasing order of their albedo. That is what the question is. So let me see, how many of you can do that. In the increasing order of their albedo, we have to arrange them all. So that is precisely what the question is. Ready? Okay. So old snow, forest, thick cloud and thin cloud. So these are the four options. So basically increasing order, that is less, more, more, more. That's how we got to arrange them. So how do you answer that? Okay, so which one will have the least? Think about that. When we talk about the least albedo, which one will have least reflectivity? So albedo is basically reflectivity, basically, how much reflection you are going to do. So when we talk about a forest, it is going to have the least reflectivity, no doubt about that. So you have to start with 2. It is going to be 2, 2, 2. So we can eliminate B first of all. And then let me be very clear, when we talk about this particular aspect, we got to understand. After that, I know, a lot of people will have the temptation of like, thick cloud or thin cloud. What exactly do we look at? So let me tell you, thick cloud are having more albedo as compared to the thin cloud. So this is very much important point. So thin cloud do not have much albedo. So that's why you will put 4. So the moment you put 4, 2, 4, then you're getting A as the right answer. As simple as that. Are you getting this point? So very important this is that you will have 4. Then of course you will have 1 old snow and thick cloud will have more than the old snow. Always remember this thing. Got it? So if I talk about the old snow, it have around 50 to 60 units of albedo. And on the other hand, the thick cloud is going to have around 70 to 80. 70 to even 85 albedo. But if I talk about new snow or fresh snow, it is going to have the highest albedo, that is 80 to 90. 80 to even 90. So you can see that, new snow or the fresh snow will have more albedo than old snow, which is have 50, 60 albedo only. This is the main difference. This exactly is the main difference we are looking at. I hope this point is absolutely clear. So I'll just show you over here. Have a look at this. Fresh snow 80 to 90 it have. Old snow 50 to 60 it has. And same ways, if you talk about thick cloud, it is having good albedo. Thin cloud is not having that much albedo. So please be very much clear about that. So if we talk about very high albedo like water, when the sun is near horizons, and water when the sun is on the zenith, it is not so much effective. But anyways, you just remember about the snows, just remember the sand, remember about forest, remember about thick cloud, thin cloud, and usually exam mein the questions are going to be on these, grass, forest, all these kind of things. So you have to remember them precisely. I hope this idea is absolutely clear. Got it? Okay. Moving ahead, let's now move to the next question. So I'm just hopeful that these questions are basically helping you, revise all these aspects very much precisely. Now, at times, we see in the news a lot of news about the coral, that, corals are being wiped out, corals are being bleached and all these kind of stuff. So the next question are basically, it is based on the coral itself. So let's see how many of you can answer that. So it is based on coral only. So let me see how many of you can certainly relate to this very question. Which of the following are the necessary conditions for the growth of coral reefs? So is it photic conditions, clean and sediment-free water, sea salinity of 6%, tropical sea water with temperature of 20 to 25 degrees centigrade? What is the right answer? Tell me. Now this is actually a very basic question which you are expected to answer. Good job. Okay, let me tell you one thing, when we talk about the sea salinity for the corals, that actually is going to be different ball game altogether. So basically, they require good saline conditions. So when we talk about corals, we have to be very much clear that they require very high salinity. So I would rather say, it can vary from place, but 32 to 40 ppt of salinity they are going to need, not 6%. So they are going to have heavy saline conditions. So I can easily eliminate 3. But 40 condition they want clean sediment free water, and this temperature is fine, 20 to 30 degree basically is required. So 1 to 4, that's why A has to be the right answer. So always remember that they would be requiring very high salinity. So in some places it may be written 27 to 40, that is also fine. So salinity has to be on the higher side. This is what we need to understand. Got it? And temperature is usually, if you ask me, 20 to 32 degree centigrade is the temperature. So this range is also fine. We can't say that this is an incorrect statement. And average salinity will be 27 to 40, anywhere around that, that is absolutely okay. So 27 or 32 to 40. Is that clear? But so please remember, they require clean water, that is 40 condition. They require salt water, they require a bit warm water, and they require, of course, clear water in order to thrive. This is what we need to understand. Now the next question is very much important. Let's try to answer this one. Now here I'll be giving you an explanation, and you have to tell me which ocean current are we talking about. Okay, so it's a very interesting question. Have a look at this. So these are the western boundary ocean currents in the wind driven subtropical and subarctic circulation of the northern Pacific Ocean. Now one thing is clear, that they are from the northern Pacific. One of them downwelling dominant, got it, and the confluence of these currents mark fog banks. Now the best part is that we are very much clear that they are confluencing, they are meeting with each other. So remember, we have two hints. One is North Pacific Ocean. Another one we have that they are basically confluencing, they are meeting each other and they are forming the fog energy. So remember this thing, that Labrador and Gulf Stream are not in the northern Pacific Ocean, of course. Parkland current is also in the Atlantic, Humboldt basically is in the Pacific, but in the southern Pacific Ocean it is. California current also is basically in the Pacific side. So only these currents, Kuroshio and Oyashio, are in the northern Pacific Ocean, and they are creating fog because they are warm and the cold. Oyashio is cold and this one is warm. So this is why this is going to be the right answer. Very basic question. Are you getting this point? So from the question we are picking up the hints. From the question itself you are supposed to be picking up the correct hints, and that is the main point you got to be focusing upon. Very important this is. So please keep these things in your minds, all of you. I hope this idea is clear. That northern Pacific Ocean. So even if you look at the ocean currents map, you yourself are going to recognize that why we are picking this as the right answer. But is that clear? So make sure that such kind of the questions you are always marking correct, because these are not very tough questions. These are very basic questions we are supposed to be understanding. So moving ahead, let's now talk about the next question. Sargasso Sea is found in the center of dash. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, or none of the above. What is the right answer? Sargasso Sea, as we talk about. Tell me. Good job. So let me tell you, it is basically a gyre which is there in the northern Atlantic Ocean. In the North Atlantic Ocean, we have this gyre. So that's why B has to be right. This is a very easy question, by the way. So remember, this is Sargasso Sea. So Canary's current here we have North Equatorial current, Antilles current, Gulf Stream, North Atlantic Rift. So you can see this is a gyre basically. So everywhere it is surrounded by the ocean currents, and this sea basically is known as a gyre, as we talk about. Very important this point is we need to look into. This is a very, very important point we have to be understanding. Got the point, bete? So I hope you are now in a position to understand these points very much. Basic points these are, but we have to have a decent level of clarity. Okay, now moving ahead to the next question. Now the next question actually I would say is a very interesting question. Let me see how many of you can get it right. In the given map, you are being shown some ocean currents like here. So can you name them? Tell me the name of these ocean currents. We have two ocean currents in this picture. So how can you name them? Good job. So this actually is a very basic question which we need to understand. Tell me. Okay. Now let me tell you one thing. When you talk about these ocean currents, you got to understand that first of all, we are talking of this continent is Africa. I'm sure you can see that from the map. And this is eastern side of Africa. Sorry, this is the West Africa, right? When you talk about the West Africa, you know that Canaries is here. So Canary can't be there, you know. So Canary is not the one. Humboldt, of course, can't be there. It's in South America side. Similarly, Falkland is near South America. So Falkland also can't be there. And even if you talk about Agualas, Agualas is here. Hai na? Agualas is on the eastern side. So this is also cut. So if you have bare minimum idea, you know that here we have the Benguela current, here we have the Guinea current. So D has to be the right answer. So always be very much clear that when we talk about this western coast of Africa, here we have the Benguela forming the Namib Desert, and here we have the Guinea, you know, this Gulf of Guinea. Here we'll have the Guinea current. So D is the right answer. I hope this question is very much understandable to you guys. That's how we look at it. So you can have a look, you know, this is Benguela current, and here we will have, you know, Gulf of Guinea, and here we have a very minor current basically. That's the one. Okay, moving ahead, let's talk about the next one. Okay, there you go with the next question. Ocean currents assist in maintaining Earth's heat budget. Ocean currents are set in motion primarily by the prevailing winds. Ocean currents are affected by the configuration of the ocean. Which of the following statement is or are correct? Good job. Well, let me see how if we can get it right. So this actually is a very conceptual question, let me tell you. And if you look at this particular aspect very much closely, you will be in a position to answer that precisely. Okay, so all the statements are absolutely correct. Here, all these statements are precisely correct. So we got to be understanding this point very much clearly. So I hope this idea is absolutely clear to you guys, which I'm trying to project. But I got the point. So D is the right answer. All the statements are absolutely correct in this very question. Okay. The next question is basically, you know, based on the world maps. So let me just present that in front of you guys. Gulf of Aden, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Tonkin, and Gulf of Ob. So tell me, how do you look at it? So which of the following is correctly matched? That's the question. Good job. How do you answer this very question? Okay, let me tell you one thing, that when we talk about, you know, Gulf of Aden, uh, in the south of the Red Sea, opens up in the Arabian Sea, this can be considered as correct. When talk about the Persian Gulf, you know, between Iran and the Saudi, opens in the Gulf of Oman, this is also correct. So 1 and 2 are correct. So 1, 2 is correct, 1, 2 is correct. So where 1, 2 is not there, clear it. Here also 2 is not there. So either the answer is A or answer is B. So let's verify third statement. Gulf of Tonkin. Gulf of Tonkin, bete, is near Vietnam. But Gulf of Tonkin opens up in the which sea? Not East China Sea. It's open up in the South China Sea. Always remember this thing. So third statement is incorrect. So if I eliminate the third one, I'm left with A, which is the right answer. So even if you're not knowing about the Gulf of Ob, you are absolutely good to go. Remember this point very much clearly. Are you getting this point? So you have to have a bare minimum idea about this thing. Even if you don't know about the fourth one, it is fine. If you eliminate the third one, you are getting the right answer. So I hope this idea is absolutely clear. But it got the point or not? So third one is incorrect because Gulf of Tonkin will open in South China Sea, not the East China Sea. See on the map, it is always in a lot of news. Constantly it is in a lot of news. So that's why I'm telling you this thing. And in fact, when we talk about this Gulf of Ob also, it opens in the Kara Sea. In the Kara Sea, it is opening. Just to, tell you this idea, and this is the point we have to understand. Very important. Kara Sea, where it is opening. So yeah, this is also incorrect. So A is going to be the right answer. I'll show you on the map as well. So have a look. This is opening in the Kara Sea. Gulf of Ob, if you go out, it is opening in the Kara Sea. So near Russia, basically it is. We have to understand this point. Similarly, if you talk about the Gulf of Tonkin is opening where? In the South China Sea, not the East China Sea, of course. And of course, Persian Gulf is opening in the Gulf of Oman, and Red Sea, through Gulf of Aden, it is Arabian Sea, of course. So this is the point we have to understand. Any doubts you have, you surely can let me know. So I'm hopeful that these points are now absolutely clear to you guys, all of you. Moving ahead to the next question. Now, next question is about ocean currents, but it's a bit unconventional question. So let's see how many of you can answer that. Yeah. So here are 4 statements about the Benguela current. You have to tell me which of the following is not correct statement. Got the point? Got the question? It influenced the climate of the west coast of North Africa. It is a cold current. Its direction is from south to north. It is flowing in the Atlantic Ocean. So tell me, how do you look at it? The question is about the Benguela current. I think we just discussed the Benguela current. We discussed the Benguela current. So should be able to answer this. Tell me what is the right answer. So always be very much clear that what exactly is examiner expecting out of you. Examiner is looking for what? Examiner is looking for the incorrect one. Which of the following is incorrect? That is what the examiner is asking, first of all. So be very much precise with your answer. That's the only request I have. So remember, Benguela. So if this is Africa, in southern part of the Africa, like this, it is flowing. So yes, it is Atlantic Ocean. Yes, it's from south to north. Yes, it is a cold current. Yes, so all they are taking okay, but you can't say it is affecting North Africa. It is affecting affecting the climate of southern part of Africa. So that's why if we talk about Africa, so A is incorrect because it is not North Africa. It is southern part of Africa, west coast of Africa. So if you look at this, so it is Namibia, southern part of Africa, so Botswana. So basically here you are seeing this is going to be affecting the climate. Benguela current, as we talk about. Got the point? So I'm hopeful that now these kind of questions are going to give you a lot of confidence as well in your overall preparation. Moving ahead, let's now move to the next question. So I'm hopeful that these questions are going to help you in overall understanding of things. So next question goes on your screens. The oldest continental crust is much older than the oldest oceanic crust. San Andreas Fault in the California represent convergent boundary. Which of the following statement is correct? Statement 1, statement 2, both or none? That's the question. So let's see how many of you can get it right. Should be able to answer this one. So I feel these questions are very much conceptual in nature, and you are supposed to be, able to answer these kind of questions always. Perfect. Now let me tell you one thing, when we talk about this oceanic crust, in the case of the oceanic crust, what we are looking at here, divergent plate boundary is there. So new crust is being formed all the time. And old crust is going to be destroyed at the convergent boundaries. However, in the continents, this is not going to happen. So that's why the oldest continental crust is much older than the oldest oceanic crust. This is true because in oceanic crust, we are seeing the crust is being destroyed and the new crust is being created. So first statement is correct. San Andreas fault is not a convergent boundary, it's a transform boundary. It is a transform boundary, bete. So this is incorrect. So that's why A is going to be the right answer. A, that is statement 1 is going to be correct answer to this question. Very basic this is. So be very much precise, with these kind of questions. We have to be understanding this point very much clearly. But is that clear? So I hope, these questions are making a lot of sense to you. You are able to, pick these things out of these questions. So remember that, when we talk about plate tectonics theory, so you have to understand this thing that, continental crust in certain parts is very much old, but oceanic crust is younger than, 200 million years ago. So that's why continental crust is quite younger, but oceanic crust is not the case. And moreover, if you talk about this thing, have a look at this. So here, when we talk about this particular, Juan de Fuca plate, or we certainly, talk about this particular aspect of San Andreas fault, which is there in the California, it is a transform boundary. So I'll just show you in detail. So roughly here, if you talk about, have a look at this. San Andreas fault is a transform. So this is moving like this is moving like this. So if some plate is moving like this is known as transform boundary. Is that clear? So this is here the transform boundary. Very basic question this is. All right. Moving ahead to the next question. So I am really hopeful that, now you are getting the concepts which are involved in these very questions. Now the next question is again a very conceptual one. Let me just show you. So this actually is a very important one. So we have got two statements over here. Highest salinity is found in 20 to 40 degree north latitude. In this region with the high temperature and evaporation, humidity remains low. So which of the following is correct? Statement 1 only, statement 2 only, both, or none? So tell me, what is the right answer? Highest salinity question this is. Very good. So let me be very much clear. When we talk about the salinity will be increased when you have more evaporation. More evaporation will be caused when you have clear sky. Clear sky is caused because of the high pressure. So when we talk about this area, here we have the high pressure conditions. High pressure condition leads to the clear sky. Clear sky leads to the more insolation. More evaporation is happening. So yes, we have the highest salinity. On the other hand, in this region with the high temperature evaporation, humidity remains low. This is correct. Because clear sky is there, no cloud cover is there, you have very less rain. You have less rain also. So rain is not there, evaporation is very high. So both the statements are absolutely correct. So that's why C is going to be the right answer. C is the right answer to this very question. I hope you understand. So even if you, talk in context of the maps, I can show you. So have a look at this. So we are talking about 20 to 40, right? So 20 to 40, if we talk about roughly, this is what we are talking about, subtropical high pressure zone. Here, since it's a high pressure zone, we have clear sky, we have less rain, and since it's clear sky, we have more evaporation. We have more evaporation. So this actually becomes a very important point to understand. This is actually a very, very important point we are supposed to be understanding. So I hope this idea is clear. Got the point? So if somebody asks you that highest salinity is where, you will say that not at the equator, but above the north of the equator. Why? Because at the equator we have clouds, we have rains also, but north of the equator we are not having these kind of conditions. So this precisely is a very important. So equatorial low, it's a low pressure zone. We have, sky full of clouds, we have rain also, which reduces the salinity. So just imagine if it is raining, it is bringing more and more fresh water, you will see less salinity. But here you are bound to see more salinity because of less rain and clear sky. So I hope this link is absolutely clear to you guys. All right. So I've just given you the reasons as well. More solar radiations, less cloud cover, less rainfall over here, and high evaporation, so higher salinity is there. Is this point clear? So I am hopeful that these kind of points are now 100% clear to you guys, all of you. They are very much important. Moving ahead, let's now move to the next question. So the next question is related to coral reefs, but this is a very, I would say, commonsensical question. Based on your common sense, this question is. So let's see how many of you can answer that. Ready? It says, which of the following is not illustrating the importance of coral reefs? If you talk about the importance of coral reefs, which is not giving you that importance of the coral reefs? Tell me. This actually is a very interesting question. So try to answer this one. They provide employment, yes, because they promote the tourism. They supply building material to a great extent, yes, limestone and all. They protect shoreline from storm, yes, but they will protect community from the earthquake. This is totally illogical. So that's why this is the right answer, because they will have nothing to do in case of the earthquake. They have they have nothing to do with the earthquake. You just have to remember this thing. So of course D is going to be the right answer. This is a very easy question. So they provide employment, tourism, everything is there, but they are not going to help you in the case of this earthquake. Remember this thing. All right. I hope this idea is clear. Okay, the Great Barrier Reef, which is again a coral reef only, it is located where? On the western coast of Australia, eastern coast of Australia, western coast of New Zealand, or eastern coast of New Zealand. Tell me, what is the right answer? Now, this is a World Heritage Site, so that's why it's a very important one. And where are you bound to find it? Tell me. So again, what I feel is that these are the kind of the questions which you are expected to answer all the time. Tell me. Okay, so this is a very easy question as well. On the eastern coast of Australia, you are bound to find it. So on the eastern coast of Australia is certainly the right answer to this question. Eastern coast of Australia. So I'll just show you on the map as well. You can have a look. Very important resource. Eastern coast of Australia. Is this clear? Okay. Now let me show you a question where you will be given some explanation and you have to tell me we are talking about which of the following. Ready? Okay. So here you have a look at this question. In this region, the cyclonic rainfall is prevalent due to westerlies. Sun is overhead between the tropics during the summer month and almost all the rainfall is received during the winter months. That is the question. So you have to tell me we are talking about which of the following. I hope the options are very much visible. So tell me what exactly is the right answer. Good job. So you will be getting these points very much precisely. Okay. So now I'll tell you, the biggest hint which we are getting in this very question, let me be very precise about that. The biggest hint which you're getting is winter rain. So since, we are observing the winter rain over here, so it has to be Mediterranean condition, because Mediterranean condition have rainfall during the winters and they have hot and dry summer. So they have hot and dry summer and they have wet and, cold winters. So basically in the Mediterranean areas, we find this type of climate. So please be very much clear, D is the right answer. So remember some characteristics of important climates, and Mediterranean is very much important. CS, that is the Köppen scheme of this. So remember, it has got dry and hot summers, and at the same time, the winter months are very much, wet as we look at it. Okay, I'll be giving you one more such question. Let's try to answer that. The next question. Ready? Next question says, these forests thrive in the region with high humidity, typically 10 to 30 degrees Celsius. Then common tree species are hardwoods, palm, all that. Which of the following forests are we talking about? Are these moist deciduous, tropical evergreen, montane, or littoral swamp forest? Tell me, what exactly are we talking about? Now, this is a very basic question. Should be easy for you to answer that. Good job. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Because temperature is between 15 to 30 degrees Celsius, consistent. So consistent temperatures are there. So it can't be montane forest. It have very low temperature. Secondly, what is more important is that very heavy rainfall is happening and hardwoods are being present. So everything point out towards a tropical evergreen forest. B is certainly going to be the right answer to this question. Very basic question this is. So you have to have a decent level of clarity on this very question. Very basic. All right, Bide? Okay. So here you are basically finding the tropical evergreen forest near the equator basically. In the context of the cyclone, the term landfall refers to which of the following? So what exactly is landfall all about? Tell me. Landfall. So it means something. What it is? It's a very conceptual question. Should be able to answer that. Okay. So, tropical cyclone usually will originate at the sea, but from the sea they are moving towards the land. And when they are coming towards the land, what will happen? They are going to fall on the land. They are going to enter on the surface, and that is when they are calling. Well, this particular thing is known as landfall. So B is the right answer. So this is like India. This is Bay of Bengal. So from Bay of Bengal, they're coming towards Odisha or any other state. This precisely is known as landfall. So that's a very precise point we need to understand. Okay. So we have three statements now about the tropical cyclones and about the extratropical cyclones as well. Extratropical cyclones have a clear frontal system, which is not present in the tropical cyclones. Extratropical cyclones move from east to west, which, tropical cyclones move from west to east. Tropical cyclones can originate over the sea, while extratropical cyclone can originate both over land and sea. So tell me about it. So if this is Earth, this is 0-degree equator. This is subtropical high pressure zone. This is also subtropical high pressure zone. All right. Now remember this thing very much carefully, that when we are talking of the pressure belts, what exactly do we understand from that? This is very much important. So, you are going to have something like this in this particular zone. So this means we are moving from east to west. So always remember, tropical cyclones are going to move from east to west. And similarly, the extratropical cyclone is going to move under the westerlies, that is from west to east. This has to be very much clear in front of you. Second statement is incorrect. So that's why B is the right answer. This is what we have to be understanding precisely. Are you getting this point? Very basic question this is, Bete. So remember, that since they are under the influence of westerlies, so extratropical cyclones are going to move like this. So, westerlies are going to move like this, and easterlies I have shown you, they're moving like this. So this is the point we have to be understanding. Got it? So like this, the tropical cyclones are going to move, and like this, the extratropical cyclones are going to move. So this statement is totally opposite of what exactly it should be. So 1 and 3 are absolutely correct. So tropical cyclone can originate over sea, extratropical originate over land and sea both. This is absolutely correct. So very, conceptual question this is. Please be very much clear in this regards. So if any question like this comes in the exam, make sure you are, not marking it as incorrect. So this is what is required out of you, very much important. Got it? So don't worry, you will be getting the PDF of this very session. And for those, who are preparing for any defense examination for that matter, make sure that, you go on the Defence Pariksha and you will be getting the PDF there as well. Clear? So specifically, those who are preparing for the defense examination, they can, join this very channel. So I'm just pinning that in the comment section also. So you'll be getting the PDF from there. Everyone, got it? And the other students, who are preparing for the other examination, you will be getting, PDF there itself. But if you are preparing for the defense specifically, make sure you join this Telegram channel. Okay. So this is precisely, what we have for the day. So I hope, you have learned something from this session, because we have done so many questions. I think we must have done around 50 questions odd. And this was today, the geography marathon. Basically, this is the revision with, quiz. So if you, are able to practice these questions in 1.5 hours, this actually gives you a lot of confidence in the exam, because in the last marathon, I gave you a lot of questions on the geomorphology and some questions were on oceanography. Today, we did mainly questions on oceanography plus climatology. So these are the 3 components of the geography which you are supposed to master. And, we always try to, keep on bringing these sessions before the exam, because on the 14th of September, you have the CDS examination. And on that day, 14th September, we'll be having an analysis also of this particular exam on this very channel. So please stay tuned and do subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet. So that's very much it from my side. I hope you have enjoyed the session. I hope you have gained immensely from this very session, everyone. Got it? So thank you so much for all the wishes again, and have a great day. Thank you so very much.